In a time long past, Baal turned upon the Dragon Lord. The foul traitor assailed our master and inflicted a grievous wound, only to make a hasty retreat, becoming a sworn enemy of the breed. Warrior true, seek the jagged peak and slay the foul beast, devour its throbbing heart. In the name of my lord, Lannseax. Seek communion. Sate your boundless appetite. It would be the purest form as a dragon whole.
Hello everyone, in today's video we are diving into a powerful new lightning build for Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Transform into a fearsome ancient dragon and unleash an arsenal of devastating lightning incantations that will leave your enemies trembling in fear. This is certainly one of the strongest builds I have played so far in the DLC, and I made sure to include all the information you could possibly need to dominate your enemies as an ancient lightning dragon. So without any further delay, let's get started. First, let's talk about the dragon form. You can transform into an ancient dragon using the Priestess Heart item. After transforming, you can use the Priestess Heart again to boost all Dragon Cult incantations damage by 20%. This item is FP free, so it doesn't cost any FP to use, and you can use it as many times as you like. However, you can only transform into dragon form after removing all your armor, and the only way to revert back is by killing your character. Transforming into dragon form increases your damage negation by an average of 8% and adds plus 70 to all your resistances. While you will have less damage negation and poise compared to wearing armor, the trade-off is a free 20% increase in Dragon Cult incantations damage. To obtain the Priestess Heart, head to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion and speak with the Dragon Priestess. To reach this location, you must complete the Dragon's Pit dungeon first. After speaking with her, climb the mountain to the top and defeat Baal the Dread. Once he's defeated, return to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion, where you will find the Priestess Heart and the Flowerstone Gavel at the Dragon Priestess location. And this brings us to the main weapon we are going to use for this build, the Flowerstone Gavel. It's an arcane weapon with nice fast swings, so if enemies came close to your face, you could quickly get rid of them. However, the reason we are using this hammer is because of its Ashapor, Flower Dragon Bolt. This will call lightning to strike down your enemies and reduce their lightning damage negation. The lightning damage negation reduction depends on whether you just quick cast the Ashapor or charge cast it. Quick casting the Flower Dragon Bolt will reduce your enemy's lightning damage negation by 12%, but if you charge cast the Ashapor, that amount will increase to 17%. Flower Dragon Bolt is also FP efficient, making it ideal for quickly taking out small enemies without using a more expensive incantation like Nice Lightning Spear. Let's take a closer look at the Dragon Cult incantations we are using for this build, starting with Nice Lightning Spear. Nice Lightning Spear, in my opinion, is a perfect spell. It has a relatively fast casting speed compared to other incantations, it can be used while on horseback ride, and it can be charged up to deal even more damage. It also deals decent stance damage, so if you can chain 2-3 spears, you will definitely break your enemy's stance, leaving them open for more lightning spears, or you can get slightly closer and leave them with one ancient lightning strike. What I love the most about this incantation is that even if you got interrupted while casting, the other 6 small lightning spears will strike your target, which is great since they actually make the majority of the damage of this incantation. It is important to mention that enemies inside the water will take more damage from your lightning attacks. This is also true if you are fighting in the rain. Attacking enemies inside the water with your lightning spear will also damage nearby enemies around them. However, this will also work in the opposite way. If you are using fire spells, you will deal less damage to enemies inside the water with your fire attacks. You can obtain the Nice Lightning Spear from the Scorpion River Catacombs. To reach this dungeon, head to the small lake north of Moor's Ruins in Scado Altus. There you will find a statue of Marika and a Skado tree fragment. Enter the cave behind the statue to access the region north of Skado Altus. The first site of grace you will unlock is the Ancient Ruins base. From there head west until you reach the second site of grace, Templetown Ruins. Follow the water stream from Templetown Ruins and you will arrive at the Scorpion River Catacombs. Enter the dungeon and follow the route I'm showing you here to easily obtain Knight's Lightning Spear. You don't even need to finish the dungeon, you can simply grab the incantation and leave. Until you obtain Knight's Lightning Spear, use Lightning Spear instead. It deals great damage and you can charge it up to increase that damage. It also consumes less FP than Knight's Lightning Spear and it's easy to obtain early in the game. To get Lightning Spear, defeat the knight patrolling near Artist's Shack in Lorenia of the Lakes to obtain the Dragon Cult Prayer Book. Give the book to either Brother Corin in the Round Table Hold or Miriel, Master of Vows at the Church of Vows, and they will teach you the Lightning Spear incantation. Ancient Lightning Strike is one of the very few spells that can literally one-shot almost any boss in the game. It is especially effective against large hitbox enemies because the lightning will strike their bodies multiple times, dealing a really high amount of damage. It can also be effective against multiple enemies. Charging up the Ancient Lightning Strike will greatly increase its damage, however it takes a long time to fully charge Ancient Lightning Strike even if you maximize your casting speed from dexterity. And since we are also suffering from low boys because we are not using any armor and using dragon form instead, this will make you susceptible to interruptions and it is unlikely you will be able to fully charge Ancient Lightning Strike in most encounters. A workaround for this issue is to use the Endure H4 on any small weapon. Endure will give you a very strong damage negation and infinite hyper armor for 3.5 seconds to withstand any attack and finish casting Ancient Lightning Strike. By the way, the duration of the Endure H4 is not enough to fully charge Ancient Lightning Strike. There is still room for interruption at the very end of the cast. However, you can try to use Endure at the end of a boss attack combo. Usually bosses have a downtime after they finish an attack combo, so by tanking that last hit with Endure and using the downtime they take after their attack combo, you will certainly have enough time to finish casting a fully charged Ancient Lightning Strike. You can learn Ancient Lightning Strike from Brother Corin or Miriel, Master of Vows, after giving either of them the Ancient Dragon Prayer Book found in Crumbling Farm Azula. Lannseax's Glaive is an excellent incantation to deal with multiple enemies, so if you are dealing with more than one opponent, this should be your go-to incantation. It deals great damage and has a wide range to catch multiple enemies. It also creates a small lightning charges that travel for a small distance and hit enemies further away from you. It also provides hyper armor while in the air, so you are not easily interrupted during the cast. You can obtain Lannseax's Glaive by defeating the Ancient Dragon Lannseax in Altus Plateau. The best secret seal you can use is the Gravelstone Seal because it increases the Dragon Cult incantation's damage by 15%. If you have a duplicate, you can use one in each hand to stack the effectiveness up to 32%. This is your ideal setup. However, if you don't have a second Gravelstone Seal, you can use the Erdtree Seal as your main catalyst because it has higher incant scaling. So you will fully upgrade the Erdtree Seal and use it to cast all your incantations while having the Gravelstone Seal in your offhand just to benefit from its passive effect until you go into New Game Plus and grab another Gravelstone Seal. You can obtain the Erdtree Seal from Volcano Manor. And the Gravelstone Seal drops from a knight located in Lindell, Royal Capital. For the buffs, we are using Golden Vow. This is no-brainer. It increases both our damage done and damage negation for 80 seconds. You can also use Black Flame's Protection. It is a great incantation that increases your damage negation by 35% and it stacks with Golden Vow. However, it will also reduce all your healing by 20%. Black Flame's Protection is an excellent option to compensate for the lack of armor when using Dragon Form. If the healing reduction is an issue for you, consider using Boiled Crab Consumable instead. It is less effective than Black Flame's Protection, but doesn't compromise your healing. I was also using Howl of Chivalry. It increases all your damage by 25%, but will reduce all your damage negation by 30%. This does not stack with Black Flame's Protection, so you will have to choose one or the other. You can significantly increase your damage output by using Howl of Chivalry to trigger Madness on yourself, while equipping items like the Aged One's Exaltation and the Madding Hand. The Black Dumpling Hat will also boost your damage, but we cannot use this one while in Dragon Form. For the Talismans, we are using Flux Campus Talisman to increase all our incantations damage by 8%. Godfrey Icon to boost charged skills and incantations damage by 15%. Lightning Scorpion Charm to increase all lightning damage by 12%. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman to bolster your physical damage negation by 20%. This is quite mandatory, especially if you decide to use Dragon Form. I was also using the Aged One's Exaltation. Before boss fights, I will keep casting Howl of Chivalry until I proc Madness. Madness will trigger this talisman to increase all our damage by 20%. The buff remains on your character even after removing the talisman. So, after triggering the Madness effect, I swap the Aged One's Exaltation with the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. In the Flask of Wondrous Physick, we are using the Lightning Shrouding Cracked Tier to boost all our lightning damage by 20% for 3 minutes. Alongside, we are using the Opaline Heart Tier to boost all damage negation by 15% for 3 minutes. Although Dragon Form will greatly increase your Dragon Cult incantations damage, some might not like the idea of playing without any armor. A very strong armor for this build is the Death Knight set. Each piece increases your Ancient Dragon Cult incantations damage by 2% up to 8% if you wear the entire armor set. The only thing I would recommend if you decided to use the Death Knight armor set is to replace the legs with either the 3 Sentinel Greaves or Radan's Greaves to increase your poise beyond the 51 breakpoint, so you are not easily interrupted while casting your incantations. The best starter class for this build is the Prophet. Please make sure to check out my Shadow of the Erdtree starter guide. You are definitely going to need plenty of Shadow Tree fragments to bolster your damage done and damage negation, especially when you are using Dragon Form. For the stats, I have 60 Vigor. This is somewhat mandatory to make up for the DLC difficulty, but don't bother going beyond 60, it is simply not worth it. 30 Mind to have a large FP pool to cast our incantations. This was more than enough for me, but if you want, you can go up to 40. Since we are using Dragon Form, you are not going to need a lot of endurance for this build. Of course, if you decide to use armor, you are going to have to increase your endurance beyond this. 14 Strength and 15 Arcane to be able to use Flowerstone Gavel. Face is your primary attribute for this build. You will need 80 face to reach the soft cap for the Gravelstone Seal. If you want to take this build beyond 150, you can invest in Dexterity until you reach 70 to maximize your casting speed from Dexterity. You can also squeeze more damage by reaching the hard cap of face at 99. If you like using the Flowerstone Gavel, consider investing in Arcane to boost its damage even more. This concludes this guide, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this guide and found it helpful, please give it a like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing for more future content. Your support is incredibly appreciated and it drives me to keep making better videos every day. Once again, thanks for watching and have a great day.